Hi, welcome to NPA Teaching. Today we are going to discuss the concept of non-sampling error. It is a general assumption in sampling theory that the true value of each unit in the population can be obtained and tabulated without any errors. But in practice, this assumption may be violated due to several reasons and practical constraints. This results in the error in observation as well as in tabulation. Such errors arose due to the factors other than sampling are called non-sampling error that arises from the result of data collection, data analysis and so on, which cause the data to differ from the true value. It is different from the sampling error, which is any difference between the sample value and universal value that may result from the limited sample size. The non-sampling errors are unavoidable in census and sample surveys. The data collected by complete enumeration in census is free from sampling error, but it is not free from the non-sampling error. The data collected through sample survey can have both sampling errors as well as non-sampling errors. The non-sampling errors arise because of the factors other than inducting the process of inferring about the population from sample. In general, the sampling errors decreases as the sample size increases, whereas non-sampling errors increases as sample size increases. Thus, the non-sampling errors can occur at every stages of the planning and execution of the survey or census. It occurs at the planning stage, fieldwork stage, as well as at the tabulation or computation and analysis stages. So the main purpose of the non-sampling errors are lack of proper specification of the domain of the study and the scope of the investigation, incomplete coverage of the population or sample, faulty definition, response and non-response errors, defective method of data collection or data gathering, tabulation and measurement, and also from interpretation error. Generally, we are classifying non-sampling errors as response error and non-response errors. Response errors can occur anywhere in the question answer recording process. It may arise when the respondents give inaccurate answer or their answers are misrecorded or misanalyzed. The errors can be attributed to the questionnaire, respondent, interviewer, and the method of data collection or measuring tools. Thus, the response error resulting from one or more of these events in survey process like the measuring wrong things, incomplete or biased measurements, variability due to poorly designed survey instructions. The non-response error include the failure on the part of prospective respondent to take part in the survey or premature termination of the interview or refusal to answer a specific questions on questionnaire. In fact, non-response of various types is probably the most common intentional response error that researchers encounter. We will discuss the various types of response and non-response errors. Generally, the response error can be classified as respondent error and researcher error. The first general type of response error is respondent error, which refers to the error on the part of the respondent. Similarly, the second type of error, which is field worker error, or it may be interviewer error, or maybe researcher error, which can be defined as the error committed by the individual who administer the questionnaire. Typically, it is interviewer. The quality of field worker can vary dramatically depending upon the researcher's resources and the circumstances of the survey. The respondent error may be intentional and unintentional. Intentional respondent errors occur when respondents willfully misrepresent themselves in surveys. There are at least two major intentional respondents errors that may arise while collecting the data. The first one is the falsehood, which occur when the respondents fail to tell the truth in surveys. They may feel uncomfortable, or they want to protect their privacy, or they may even suspect that interviewer has a hidden agenda. For example, the level of income is the sensitive topic for many people. We can't expect the true income level. Similarly, the marital status disclosure is the concern for women living alone. And some other sensitive topics were respondents reluctant to disclose the truth. Alternatively, the respondents may become bored or feel interview process is burden or find the interviewer is irritating. For a variety of reasons, they may want to end the interview in a hurry. The second type of intentional respondent error is the non-response. It includes the failure on the part of prospective respondent to take part in the survey, or premature the termination of the interview, or refusal to answer the specific answer on the questionnaire. The second respondent error is unintentional respondent error. An unintentional respondent error occurs whenever a respondent gives a response that is not valid, but that he or she believes that it is truth. It may be arise due to misunderstanding, attention loss, distraction, fatigue, and guessing or memory loss. The first one is the respondent misunderstanding, which is the situation in which the respondents give an answer without comprehending the question, or it is accompanying instruction which exists in all surveys. Such a misunderstanding range from simple error to complex error, such as misunderstanding of the terminology. The second unintentional respondent error occur when the respondent interest in the survey decreases, known as attention loss. When the loss in the attention, the respondent do not attend the question carefully and they issue mindless answer, and they may refuse to continue taking part in the survey. Similarly, third one, distraction, such as disruption, may occur while the questionnaire administration take place. For example, when you are answering the questionnaire, some other people came or guests came and interrupted. When you come back to the answering, you may lose the continuity. So a distraction may cause the respondent to get off the track or otherwise not take the survey as seriously as it is desired by the researcher. The next unintentional respondent error can take in the form of respondent fatigue, in which the respondent become tired of participating in the survey. Whenever the respondent tires of the survey, the deliberation and the reflection will diminish and the cooperation will decrease. The last unintentional respondent error is guessing, in which the respondent gives an answer when he or she is uncertain of its accuracy. Occasionally, the respondents are asked about the topic about which they have little knowledge or unable to recall the past event, but they feel compelled to provide the answer to the question being posed. So, respondents might guess the answer, and all guesses are likely to contain the errors. This is due to the loss of memory or unable to recall the past event. As I have already said that the respondent may have difficulty in recalling the past event. This source of response error is called memory error. One type of memory error is recall error, whereby the respondent does not recall all the events that occurred within the reference period. For example, in the last 2 years, how many times did you visit a medical doctor? Here the reference period is too long so as unable to recall the past events. So this results in the underreporting of the event. The reverse situation may also happen. The respondent may report the activities that is occurred outside the reference period as occurred as during the reference period. This source of error is called telescoping error, and it is usually results in the over-reporting of the event. This is because the respondent tend to report the events having occurred more recently that they actually did. So this is called forward telescoping. Similarly, the respondent may occasionally report the event that occurred longer ago than actually did. So this is also lead to the backward telescoping. So generally speaking, The longer the references period, the greater is to recall loss and hence potential for the recall error. However, shorter reference period tend to increase the telescoping error. Another type of response error is researcher or field worker or interviewer error, which is defined as the error committed by individual who administer the questionnaire, which is typically interviewer. The quality of field worker can vary dramatically depends on the researcher's resources and circumstances of the survey. This error also arises due to intentional and unintentional. Intentional researcher error occur whenever the data collection person, that means it may be interviewer or it may be enumerator, willfully violate the data collection requirements set forth by the researcher. It may be interviewer cheating or may be leading respondent. Interviewer cheating occur when the interviewer intentionally misrepresent the respondent. Interviewer cheating is a concern especially when the compensation is based on as per the completion basis. For example, he is not visiting the concerned person or field to collect the data directly and complete the questionnaire by sitting his own house. So this is one of the example of an interviewer cheating. The second error that we categorized as intentional on the part of interviewer is the leading respondent or attempting to influence the respondent answer through wording or maybe voice inflection or maybe through body language. For example, consider the question, if conserving electricity is concern for you? Of course, in this case, an interviewer can influence the respondent through the pattern of question that is, yes, it is a concern. Now consider the unintentional interviewer errors. Unintentional interviewer errors occur whenever an interviewer commit an error while believing that he or she is performing correctly. There are three general sources of unintentional interviewer error: interviewer personal characteristics, interviewer misunderstandings, and interviewer is fatigue. So unintentional interviewer error is found in the interviewer's personal characteristics such as pronunciation, gender, and his personal behavior, etc. may leads to getting wrong or incorrect information. Secondly, it is interviewer misunderstanding, which occur when interviewer believes he or she knows how to administer a survey, but actually he don't know how to perform the same. As we have described, the questionnaire may include various types of instructions for interviewer, a variety of response scale types, direction on how to record the responses, and other complicated guideline to which the interviewer must follow. Sometimes when instructions are hard to understand, the interviewer will usually struggle to fulfill with the researcher's wishes and may fail to do so. So the third type of unintentional interviewer error pertaining to the fatigue related mistakes, which can occur when interviewer become tired, especially towards the end of the long interview day. The interviewer may be less mentally alert than earlier in the day, and this condition can cause the slip-ups and mistakes to occur. The interviewer may fail to obey a skip pattern and may be forget to make a note of respondent's reply to a question, might hurry through section of a questionnaire, etc. Another researcher error is the measurement error, which is actually difference between the information which researcher generated and the information actually wanted by the researcher. This gap is known as measurement error. The next one is the processing error. Processing is the transform the survey responses obtained during the collection into a form that is suitable for the tabulation and data analysis. It includes all the data handling activities after collection and prior to the estimation. Since it is a mixture of automated and manual activities, it is time consuming, resource intensive, and potentially become a source of errors. For example, processing data or processing error can occur during the data coding, data capture, data cleaning, data editing, and data imputation. Like all other errors, it can be random in nature. The last possible error from the part of researcher is the data analysis and interpretation errors. These errors may arise while the researcher analyzes by using wrong methods or tools used for the data analysis, and also while interpreting the data which he collected. So these are the various possible errors faced by the researcher himself while doing a particular research. Whatever errors we discussed till now is the response errors which may arise from the part of researcher or respondent. Now consider the non-response error. The non-response error was defined earlier as a failure on the part of prospective respondent to take part in the survey or to answer the specific questions on the questionnaire. There are two types of non-response, that is item or partial non-response and total non-response. Item non-response occur when the information is provided for only some of the items of the questionnaire, such as when the respondent respond only a part of the questionnaire and refuse to answer a certain questions or break offs during the interview and refused to answer the specific questions which leads to the omission of certain item. A break-off occur when the respondent reaches a certain point and then decided not to answer any more questions in survey. As you would expect, there are many reasons for break-offs. For example, the interview may take longer than the respondent initially expected. The topic and the specific questions may prove to be unpleasant, or it may be too personal, or may be boring questions, or the instructions may be confusing, or the survey may be too complex. As against item non-response, there is a total non-response which occur when all or almost all data for sampling units are missing. That is mainly happens when respondent refuse to participate in the survey. That is, it occur when a potential respondent declines to participate in the survey. There are many and varied reasons for the refusals, like people may be busy or have no interest in the survey, or may be due to fear. For example, during the period of NRC issue, people were unwilling to participate any type of surveys. I hope you are clear about the various types of non-sampling errors which we discussed here that may come across while doing the research. It seems to be very simple errors and not considering a serious issue, but probably it may badly affect your research findings, interpretation and generalization. Have a nice day and see you in the next video. Thank you.